This is the Okayest Hunter podcast. Never pass on shooter bucks, because that's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag, you hunt how you want. This is Okayest Hunter.
Welcome back to the show. This is the Okayest Hunter podcast. We're in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. We got a bunch of Wisconsinites here tonight. I mean, like clearly Derek and I, but Brad, you're from here.
Yeah.
You don't live too far from Derek.
We both drove about an hour to get here.
Yeah, we should have carpooled.
We should have, yeah.
Sorry about that, guys. What a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I have my pains with it too, as I was just talking to you guys. I'm going to publish that post at some point.
Don't forget.
Oh, we're brought to you by Nosler. If you want your house cleaned, get Nosler, because they'll clean house.
I thought you were going to make some reference to the house
Horses?
cleaning.
No. Well, I mean, we could go
friend.
down that path too. Shout out to Holly, my wife. I actually think working class put out a shirt that says if your wife sucks, you can't hunt or something like that. Or,
I showed that to my girlfriend the other day.
I forget what it says exactly.
Can't kill big bucks if your wife sucks.
Yeah.
Something
that was it,
along
yeah.
those lines.
I virtually cannot have a hunting season. Oh, I touched a cord and everything went off. Oh, crap.
Oh, no.
Classic.
It'll just take a second. I think it's fine. And it's recording here. So anyway, if it weren't for her, I wouldn't have a hunting season because we have 3 kids under the age of 7. You have this problem.
Bro, yeah.
This blessing. But I was like, man, we've been doing this podcast. I mean, I've been doing it for like 10 years, but we've been consistent in this house since we moved in 2019. And you rolled in right in like the COVID era, right? Somewhere around there when this got built. And every single Tuesday, Holly cleans and or cooks dinner for me and or the guests, including the host, you and Greg.
Every Tuesday I walk in, everything's freshly. Holly does a great job, and there's a slow cooker meal that's just like
There is one, yeah, that's
what's
happening
in
right
there?
now.
Yeah, you could smell it when I walked in.
Hey, I can feel that because my girlfriend's awesome like that too. Like today, I was like, I got 10 minutes to change, and she's like, here's a burger.
Dude,
No, I'm like,
wow.
Burger Fairy.
That's a
that was great.
So yeah, I mean, thank Holly for this podcast because, of course, there's all this shit in here to figure out and do, and that takes something, but not really anymore. Like once you do it all once, it's just kind of like maintaining the altitude of the flight path. Like I'm not landing planes anymore. But if I didn't have her, there wouldn't be a runway to take off from every Tuesday. So it's pretty amazing. So anyway, Nosler's basically sponsoring my wife at this point. Is how I see it. Did we touch a chord again?
Is that their actual ad, or did you just make that up?
Oh, and I make it up every week.
That's made up.
Every time.
That's a brand new one.
It's usually whatever is the weirdest thing that comes out of my mouth, just naturally. It's not planned at all. I just get nervous when I have to promote
naturally
someone.
make it sound so unnatural. And just in case, I'm not going to look, but just in case that's my wife, thank you to you too, sweetheart. You do a great job. Our house is clean and smells beautiful. Shout out to all the wives.
Yeah, they do have the Whitetail Country. They do have the Trophy Grade. They have Farmageddon. They did just run a 40% off Father's Day sale. If you do want 20% off outside of any other holiday season, use code OHB, save 20%. That brings them down to a price point of what you'd expect from any other shitty brand. Not knocking anybody, but just saying I think Nosler is at the top of the heap. And sometimes that means their price point is a little bit out of range for some, but everything can be in range when you have Nosler. And you're getting 20% off to afford it. So look at all these puns I'm just tossing into the...
We're headed up to pick up the gun for the kids. We're heading up tomorrow morning.
That's right. Okay, because you're like, hey, do we need me to come in on Tuesday? Because there's a gun I want to go pick up.
Yep. So I think we're going to head up tomorrow, and the gentleman who does the paperwork for picking up the firearms won't be there till Thursday, or it's short drive from the cabin.
What are you getting?
I got a 350 Legend Savage Access Pro
nice.
2.
Yeah.
That's kind of a dual gun, good for the kids, also good for Illinois.
Yeah.
Iowa,
Lightweight,
muzzleloader.
smaller, like 16.
Yeah, and
inch
Savage does a full size or a compact for youth hunters, so I think it's going to be a good gun to get my son started with. So.
Oh, your wife is letting us know that we can't hear anything. So whatever I unplugged,
that's what she was calling.
definitely unplug something. Here we go. Hold on, I got it. Oh, the whole fucking thing. Hold on 1 second here. I wonder what's going to happen. I might have to go out and come back in. I don't.
It might be me because this happened to me over by.
Don't worry, we got all of it
last
captured
one.
here for post. It's just this. It's because it's on freaking mute, dude. Dude, literally, I have done everything to make this work, and then it's just stupid stuff like that. And now the video's gone.
Sorry for laughing.
How many people are texting me right now? Can't hear your audio. Can't see you guys.
That looks good.
It's there. It's just not there. Oh, that was a weird button. Sorry, guys. Like this is my nightmare. This is every time I do this stuff.
Have you started to sweat yet, or are you
No. I just feel bad that everyone's like watching my house burn down as I do it here. I'm just gonna leave and come back in, and it's gonna repopulate, and it's gonna be annoying, but I don't care too much. It's just the live stuff that ends up being a problem. So let's see what happens here. I'm curious if I have to like redo this. And then we'll get the talk train back on track. There it is. I think we're going to be fine now. It's why the hell would it ever mute me if I'm the fucking person?
Didn't it like default you last time too?
Yeah, but it's like, I go in and I double check that the audio is the right thing. No, it's still not seeing the thing. You piece of shit. All right. Full stop. I'm just going to edit this out, which is going to make my night busier.
About a year ago, you got a brand new, whatever that is, mixer or whatever.
Yeah.
Because this was happening. It's working a lot better now.
Okay, hold on here. I don't know. Hopefully this does I'm just kind of like resetting the room. I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's going to recognize the right audio.
This
Roadcaster.
pretty good stuff.
Don't be afraid to say it. It's chicken cock. Not bad.
And I'm not on mute. And
He came down. We were going to do a turkey-centric episode. And I didn't know what to get, but this is as close to turkey as they had. I was like, they didn't have wild turkey? No, no one wants to drink that.
I think we're good. Let me hold on. Let me just get a feed from everyone.
Well, Ashley seems like she's tuned in. Maybe
Is audio good now? Question mark. I think it should be. I'm not muted. It's showing the proper channels. Let's just hope it is. Sometimes I don't edit these things out, and then I wonder, like, if people hate me when they're listening in their car. Like, man.
Ashley gave confirmation.
Okay, thanks.
She's up and running. Thanks, sweetheart.
Thanks for the compliment, too. You're doing amazing. See, wives. What the flip were we talking about?
I picked up a small,
Thanks, guys.
For my daughter for her first gun. It's like, yeah, it's her first gun, but I wanted it. It was that Ruger, same thing almost that you're getting, but it's Savage. It's a 7.62 by 39. It's like the AK round.
Oh, okay.
We killed 3 deer with it this year.
So it's working pretty good.
It works great.
Low recoil?
Very low recoil.
She likes shooting
Oh,
it?
yeah. super easy to shoot. And I mean, at 100 yards, you can.
That's awesome.
Perfect gun for
Well, this
kids.
is a good opportunity to mention, like, I know I said we have 3 people here, but Brad Werwinski, am I saying your last name correct?
That was correct.
Oh, sweet. I didn't mess that up. That's a
Yeah.
shocker. I mean, I've known of you for some time. We've definitely corresponded a bunch. You've come to Foam Fest in the past. Like, you have been around because you're in Wisconsin. You're here.
Right.
I think at some point earlier on, when I first learned about you, you were with Chase Nation. You've departed. Everything's amicable. No issue. But you've kind of done your own thing since then. Let's just have you take the stage and talk about that a little bit so people know who you are.
Okay, sure. Well, I think I was trying to figure out. I think it's my 30th year hunting.
Ooh,
Damn.
nice.
You're not young, huh?
No.
You look pretty young though.
No spray chicken.
Yeah, I just shaved all the grays off. But so I've been hunting my whole life, and got into like filming a long time ago as well with the old CD camera, and you could hear it like writing on the disc.
Yeah,
and then deer would spook sometimes even. But no, I love to film, and did the Chase Nation thing for years, and I just like doing photography and video on the side as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do like 4 or 5 weddings a year just for some pocket cash. And
pretty multifaceted because you also own your own business doing like.
Yep, we do fences, decks, and sheds mainly, and we dabble into pretty much anything we can if it's the right job. But like we do, like 40 to 40 by 80, 50 by 80, 60 by 100 pole sheds.
Holy cow.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
Jeez.
and that's what we're doing right now in this miserable day. And then we had our lift break today too.
Oh,
a tire fell off the lift.
So hot. He's like, I'm done.
I walked by your truck in the front and I just saw post hole diggers. And I was like, somebody was having a bad day.
Yeah. But, and then my worker, I'm like, you want to stay? 'Cause I'm like, I got to leave. You know, you want to stay and finish some stuff? He's like,
No.
when he doesn't answer, he's probably like, all right, let's get out of here. But it was bad. It was a tough day out there.
So pretty safe to say you got a bit of a creative itch to scratch with photography or building, whatever
Yeah.
it is. You got a creative side.
Yeah,
to
I've
you?
always kind of thought, you know, like creatively like that. I like to do my own thing. And
Heck yeah.
it helps with kids, and you know, so you can work super hard in the summer and ease into some time off more in the fall, which still never ends up to be how much you want to actually take. You know, every year I'm like telling my
This is the
buddies,
year.
like, we're gonna do the whole entire season. We're not gonna work.
And they're all rallied behind you, like, yeah, this is great. And then you're like,
everybody's like,
I wasn't lying to you. I really did.
Across the country.
Yeah.
No.
But no, it's a good thing, and I really like to just work with people too, and I like when customers are happy, and I like just, you know, taking on challenges. And
Yeah.
So
Well, the camera stuff's fascinating because, like, I imagine you're also doing the post production too. That's a lot of work.
yeah.
If you're the one recording, you have a better idea maybe how you want to lay it out, but it's still a lot to go through.
So one thing though is if you're the guy that filmed it,
Yep.
you kind of have a mental block of what happened. So cutting it up, you know, in post is a lot easier and faster. Like, other than some guy just like, here's my SD cards, and you know, you plug them in, it's like just, nothing's labeled, and it's just endless film.
Knowing what you have to work with right before you start.
And that's when it
building
gets tough to post produce because you have no idea what's on it. But if you're the guy that filmed it and you know, can dabble in post, then it's a lot easier.
It's a lot easier, yeah. Well, so we work with Jace Martinetto. He's our production guy. And he had a younger fella, Caleb. He's not even that young. He's just younger than us.
Well, he's younger than
New to the industry. He's a tree guy, but now he's a camera guy. And Jace just told me, like, yesterday or the day before, he's like, Caleb got way more than I thought he did. It's going to take a bit longer to comb through all this. Like, there's a lot to work with here. So I'm really excited to see what happens with all that. But Jace's, like, superpower is the ability to create a story. And so even if I was involved, and I was on the fucking hunt. So I'm like, but he's going to spot things that even I am not thinking is of value, or also you forget about stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching some of the stuff back already. I'm like, I have no recollection of this.
Well, it's funny meeting Caleb. So our whole Okayest Hunter series is supposed to be like a joke. Like, it's The Office, right?
Yeah, I've watched that. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, good to hear, because I would actually value your opinion on it.
No, it's great.
I got to go on 2 hunts with Caleb, the younger guy who does the filming. And I was like, what did Jace tell you? Like, how prepped up are you on this outfit and what we're doing here? He goes, he told me just point the camera at Eric and it's all going to be gold.
Yeah, I've heard that before. Keegan said he was asked, we work with the guy, Keegan Cadell, and he's like, people have asked me, like, is that Eric guy full of shit? Is he like fucking around on purpose or what? He's like, no, I wish that were the case. It really is like watching a train wreck. My mom's last name is Rakowski, so you would know it by hearing my last name be Clark, that I'm incredibly Polish. So Polacks are going to do what a Polak is going to do. And
Cheers
make
to that.
everything
Hey, we're all
really
Polish.
challenging.
Mom's a Piontek, so.
We got to get some sauerkraut down here.
Yeah.
Jeez. Some bratwurst, you know? Oh, man. Anyway, so.
When do you think you started filming your hunts? Like, were you pretty.
Yeah, like 21, 22.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd like to dig out some of that old stuff too. And
You should.
it's just a lot of like shooting does and stuff.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Whatever.
You know.
It's cool.
For anyone who's
Cool
done
stuff.
it, getting a kill on camera
I haven't
by
on my
yourself.
own.
That's a challenge.
I got one doe on GoPro 1 year, but I didn't recover her, and I still think she should have been dead. Greg will argue.
Is that the
this.
river hunt you
Yeah.
did?
And it was my first. I had done a full self film, and after that, I was like, I never want to do that again. It was so much effort on top of the effort that I was sucking at both things. It's like what is it? Don't half-ass anything. Like, whole ass
Yeah.
it or what? Yeah.
If you're gonna suck, you might as well suck good. No, dude, self filming is very, very hard. But you learn tricks around it, you know.
Yeah.
And now at my point, I'm like, if I can't get it on camera, like I'm just gonna, I don't even care anymore, really.
Yeah.
I'd like to get the shot on film, which is great now with all these GoPros and Tacticams. At
It's
least
a 360 view nowadays. You're on deck to get an Insta 360. I don't know if I told you that
You
yet.
didn't.
Because you do all the vlogs. So I thought, like, well, Derek should get one first. But we're about to drop some money on some of those for you.
nice.
Anyway, but like that kind of thing is, there's give and take there.
That'd be great for
But-
if you're, crawling around, crawling and trying to get up to a turkey or even a deer, and at least you're not going to miss anything.
Heck
yeah.
That'd be
So
kind
it's
of
kinda
cool.
neat.
Yeah.
But the batteries on stuff, like things getting wet in the rain, it's a lot to be concerned with.
Yeah, the batteries are an issue. If I turn, especially late season, the time I get to hunt the most, you turn your GoPro on and forget to turn it off. Like, it lasts.
They have like sleep mode and stuff, but then I'm on my phone
Lasts
because
like
I'm
10
trying to
minutes
control
in
it.
the, in cold temperatures.
I've tried everything too. I've wrapped them in hand warmers, and now the best thing is just to keep it in your pocket
Oh,
and like just quickly like stick it on.
interesting.
You put
Like a magnet?
magnet on it, and just
That's smart.
so.
You're not screwing stuff around.
Then at least you'll still get your shot if you have time to get it on.
That movement of GoPro has screwed me on a couple of hunts where I'm like, ooh, I'm just going to hit the
Mhm.
record button. And that got me busted. A little
Yeah.
bit of movement. So I've been like, okay, I'll get the Bluetooth hooked up to the GoPro and I'll just hit the button here. But then I'm like doing this.
I know.
It's like, man, I don't like
you
that.
got to wear a remote, and it's like
Yeah.
that battery's dead, so you're screwed there.
Everything's dead. Right now, your footage has always looked really. I mean, you must have a pretty nice camera.
I
that you're
carry
shooting
around.
with.
Yeah, I shoot with a Sony. I've been a Sony guy
like
for forever.
a mirrorless.
Yeah, Sony
Okay.
A7 IV.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It's kind of, I would say, it's a perfect mix for video and photo. At first, people
Yeah.
were complaining that it would overheat, but mine has never overheated. And
That thing will be on for the next day when I forget to turn it off
Yeah.
on a dummy battery. It's a Sony A6, but like and these are EVZ10s or something like that. They're really,
yeah,
it's all Sony's in here.
and half the time I don't even record it in 4K because you can't. You can't tell a difference. And
Sure.
especially if you're watching it on YouTube.
And
or something.
in any post stuff or storing your footage,
It's a
4K.
lot.
My God, you're just using up computer storage and USB drives and
Yeah.
jump drives. And,
I remember a long time ago, I heard someone say like the way video is, how high def it is, it's actually better than what the eye can perceive. So it's actually a little bit unnatural. They have to add motion blur back in because if you just tilt your head, like there's blurring happening real time that your brain doesn't really process, but it's there. So when a camera moves that smooth and it doesn't have that effect, it's actually fucked with your senses because you're like, this feels unnatural because there's none of that
Yeah.
blur that we naturally have at the human eye.
Oh, the quality of video has just in the 10 years has just gone crazy. Like crazy.
Yeah,
Even
I mean,
with your
AK is
phone.
going to be the next thing, right?
You
is that
you
right
really
there?
don't need a camera if you want to. You just
That's
use
what
your
I've been
phone.
doing.
there's
almost
so
always.
many. There's
Yeah.
so many
Same with you,
videos
right?
on
Like,
YouTube.
we have
that are
GoPros
filmed
with-
on like like Brian does.
Yeah.
It films on his Samsung. You can zoom in like 300x.
Right, and
Like,
now if you got a good digital zoom, like, and it's not low light, you'll never know.
Yeah.
It could have been. You never know it was on an iPhone.
Yeah, it's cool.
I ended up doing that just because
The GoPro's too much
lugging
putz
around my I got like a G50 camcorder style camera with the camera
Yeah,
arm.
Canon.
But like I still wasn't getting like what I wanted on camera. So I was like, I mounted a phone holder to my riser of my bow right above my sight.
Yep.
And I had like an older iPhone that I'm like, I'm just gonna store video on here. So like I would just click that on, and that has been so much easier than
Yeah.
I still bring the other one and try to get it, but I'm like, well, now if the deer moves or I don't have to worry about it, no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done the
Stuff.
GoPro on the bow, and that's what I did on that doe hunt I was talking about. Where it just missed like the point of impact a little. Like you could hear every. I'm like, damn it, but I didn't know. I was like, you're in the moment.
I started wearing it on my head, and you just turn it to an angle,
Mm-hmm.
and then after you shoot, because when I mount it on my bow, I'll shoot, and you'll get the vibration, and it's like, oh crap, I forgot to. You couldn't even really see. You could see
Right.
just briefly where you hit it, which is the best part, to make sure you know where you hit it. But then it's just like it's gone. So if you wear it on your head, at least it's kind of still catching everything.
That's a
when
good
you,
point.
when you move your hand around. So if you want to give that a try next year.
I have done the slow mo on so I have like one set up in the tree, and then slow mo on the one that's on the bow or my head, whatever it was. Like usually the bow, which is so stupid. But I did the slow mo frame, so then I could see Okay, well, if I watch this one back, at least it'll like have a whatever the frame rate is different. You can see what's actually happening here.
Like a 120 frame
Yeah,
rate or something.
and so that helped me a little bit on the one I missed. It's like, oh, he really ducked it hard. I don't know how he did, but he did. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Damn deer.
I know.
So you also shoot a trad bow. You're a man of like, I'm learning here, of many like talents.
Well, and you're hunting all over the place.
Yeah,
like
5
you
states.
do a
You
lot
went
of
in Hawaii.
trips.
I mean, I don't know
Northwoods of
we try
Wisconsin.
to do about 5 states a year is my goal.
Which states?
I've been loving Nebraska for muzzleloader, which
Okay.
if y'all didn't get your app in for that, it ended on the 13th. So
Is that a late season muzzleloader?
it's the whole month of December.
Okay.
But there's probably leftovers. They recently went to a draw, and I don't even think they get as many people buying them as they have available.
Really?
But yeah, I love Nebraska in December because you can all of a sudden, I don't need to plan it. I just have the tag and I know it's a cheap tag too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, well, yeah, let's go for this weekend. And like last year, I got pretty lucky and went out, drove out overnight, and I ended up getting in mule deer, and I got one the first day.
Huh.
And I'm like, oh, I got back to my truck. I'm like, well, do I just start heading home now, or just have a couple drinks by myself and then drive home in the morning?
So that's good for
Would
any
you-
deer?
I need to know-
Whitetail, mule deer?
There are some zones for muzzleloader you can't shoot. It's the mule deer. I don't know what they call it, but you can't shoot a mule deer in a few zones out there.
That's cool.
Did you stay and have a few beers, or did you?
Oh
leave?
yeah, I stayed because I
Okay.
was like dead.
You needed it, actually. Yeah. That's wise.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
was
nice
good.
feeling.
So I love Nebraska. Love Minnesota. I've been going out there with some buddies for it's a shotgun season.
Okay.
Take my muzzleloader out there. We've been doing that. They've been doing it for a long time, and luckily they invited me up there. And ever since, I love going on that hunt. And that's like during the prime rut.
Yeah, their gun season is like November 5th,
So,
6th,
yeah.
something like that, right?
Oh, dude, that's a total
So-
game changer.
I went 2 days early and bow hunted before the opener, so I had a little bit of intel on some areas and stuff. Ended up, I have a great Okayest moment for you that I told you to talk about.
Let's hear it.
so.
This is the good time as any.
All right. Well, I really love muzzleloader hunting late season. It's kind of my thing. I'll even use it for my gun tag, and I feel like every year I'm like,
What do you love about
I
it?
finally have it figured out, and every year that's what I think, but I don't.
That's what keeps the allure.
So last year I shoot a CVA, nothing fancy, like the I don't know which one it was even. It's like the second model up from.
If Greg were
from
here,
the
he
Wolf.
would know, but we're not the guys to know.
All I know is the Optima.
It's the Optima.
Is it that
yeah.
one? Okay.
Super affordable gun, great shooting gun. As long as you clean, make sure you clean your stuff at least a week or two later, and don't let it sit till the next year, and you still got a load in there.
That's rough. It happens.
Sounds
though.
like
That
sounds like
happens.
you're speaking from experience
Oh, yeah.
or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Your barrels are pretty much shot after that. But anyways, I'm like, all right, I got everything figured out, tested around different rounds and powder. I finally went to shooting loose powder again. And I ran out of my primers that I typically shoot. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just grab a quick set of primers on my way up. It's the Federal MZ primers, 209s. Very common, and the more I had a feeling something wasn't right because they're not a really hot primer. Like they're fine for shooting, pellets and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I'm shooting, the Blackhorn 209, which needs like a really hot
Loose
ignite.
powder, yeah, to get it
And-
going.
And I'm very meticulous in loading my muzzleloader every day before I leave to hunt because of moisture. And I've had misfires on big animals.
Oh, geez.
and-
Bringing your gun from outside, like in your truck, to inside, like a cabin,
So
and then
now-
back out can cause condensation, dampen
Yeah.
your powder. Yeah.
If it's cold, I'll push my load out, run a thing through it, and leave it outside. I won't even bring it inside, and then I'll load it cold instead of bringing it in.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
smart.
I've had some bad misfires in the past.
Yeah,
Well,
you wouldn't think of that with your rifle for like just a regular rifle. You bring it in because you're like, I'm bringing my baby in with me.
Right.
This is interesting.
So I buy these Federal MZ primers. I go up there. I'm hunting the whole week, and I finally it was like the last day of the trip. I get on this buck,
Mhm.
and he was above me on the bluff, and I could hear him chasing a doe around. So I'm like, all right, well, and the wind was great, so I slowly started creeping up. get halfway, hit some grunts. I could hear him come run. Like he was trying to look, and we're pretty steep, so he couldn't see down. He was just trying to either, see a buck come running up or not. Well, I kept working my way up, grunted again. I could hear him. Here comes this really nice buck. I mean, dude, I don't know, 130 if you were to guess. Right?
Hell yeah.
There's something I'm shooting every day.
Yes.
He wasn't that big. And I'm kneeling next to a tree. He's like 20 yards from me at this point, looking straight down the bluff. And I'm like, oh my God, and it goes like the primer went off, but it didn't burn my powder. It was the craziest thing ever. And I'm like, oh my God, he looks at me and he goes like this. He's like, where's the buck? Stands there. I'm like trying to put a new primer in, and the doe starts walking, blows, she runs off. He looks at her and he's like, see ya. By that time I'm like, and then so I went that next weekend, I went back home and I just kept testing it, and like 1 out of 3 of the primers wouldn't burn my powder.
Shit.
What the hell?
So you gotta buy the federal 209A primers. It's a shot shell primer, and they're the hottest. They're like the hottest primers you can buy. So if you're running, Blackhorn 209, I would highly suggest not buying just a standard muzzleloader 209 primer. Buy a hot shot a 209A, which is the actual shotgun primer.
Interesting.
But it goes in.
So you haven't had an issue with that?
No, I've shot like probably 20 rounds through it just to make sure there wasn't something else going on. And
that's one thing that I don't think maybe people think about as much, because muzzleloaders have come a long way. Mm-hmm. Like they really have. And I got a buddy, Bo's buddy Scott. I mean, he's shooting a long range muzzleloader. He can shoot like 300 yards consistently. But like people hear that and you're like, oh man, it's just you can just do that. However, if you're really, really
300's a tough shot with
if you're really, really, really meticulous with your loads and how you're doing things, it can be done. But it's not like Grandpa's old 30-06. You just run to Fleet Farm, grab whatever's on the shelf, and it's going to shoot. Like, it's not quite the same. I had a buddy who muzzleloader hunted with me up in the UP, and he had a similar thing. He literally, it was a really cold night, brought his gun into the cabin. We had like a fire roaring all night, brought it back out. Next day, had a 4-pointer or whatever it was come out, and he's like, it looked like a Roman candle. He's like, I pulled the trigger, it kind of burned. Yeah. I saw my bullet fall out the end of the gun. He goes, it literally went boop. Bunch of sparklers went, and then boop.
I did a stalk. I was in Nebraska, and my buddy Jason was filming me through his spotting scope, like way on another road, and then he could see me crawling down, and there's a bedded like buck.
That's awesome. And
super cool 6-point, like tall and skinny, but
love that.
And I crawl up, and I'm like, all right, probably like 50 yards now. I'm just laying prone. And I'm like, I'm just going to wait till it stands up. I don't need to shoot it while it's laying in its bed. There's plenty of time. And those stand up, and then he stands up, and he kind of looks at me, standing straight, straight at me.
Sure.
So I'm like, right here, I'm going to drop him.
Fold him.
Because laying prone, like, that's my best position.
That's everyone's best. That is the best position.
And at 50 yards, how do you miss?
You're like, you're already imagining tenderloins.
I know, I'm like dragging him out, like, where should we take a picture, And it goes, and you could see I'll have to try to find that video. You can see my bullet come out of my gun just with a little trail of smoke and go, and it lands like 20 yards.
The buck's just laughing at you at that point.
Yeah.
Good try, pal. Jeez, man. Interesting. What a fiasco.
Yeah.
I've not muzzleloader hunted before. I've been asked to go a bunch, and people have, I don't know, extra guns, I guess. I'm like, you can use mine or whatever. I'm like, oh, I don't know. You sure about that?
Yeah.
You sure you know what you're getting into with me?
I've not had great luck. The only thing I've killed with a muzzleloader is a coyote.
Oh, really?
You got one. All right.
I got a coyote, but the 2 bucks I've shot, I've not got. So
did you shot him and hit him and it all worked?
One of them I think I missed. I thought I was right on, but I never found blood on him. Trailed him in the snow for a while.
Did you get a scope on your muzzleloader?
I did, yeah.
You do as well?
Then we did deer drives out where you hunted on the public by me. Me and Bo and a couple guys, and it was the last drive of the day just before dark, and we jumped. All of a sudden, Bo was walking through. It was tall grass mixed with cattails outside the woods, like 200 yards. We're walking through the stuff, and all of a sudden, I can hear this deer get up. Bo's like, one coming at you. And I'm like, oh shit, it's a nice buck from muzzleloader, Wisconsin public land. Like it was it was probably like a 10-pointer, and it was all icy where he's running. He's running from the higher ground grass to like flooded cattails, and he's going like slow because he's like sliding. So I'm like, okay, just wait for it. Just wait for it. And I had a little opening and I shot, and it felt good. We got over there. There was a little bit of blood, but it was like specks. So I think I ended up probably shooting in front of him and just hitting through the brisket. But we blood trailed him for a while. There was never good blood. But with muzzleloaders, I've also heard like sometimes there's no blood at all and you can still get them. So I was like, it really drove me crazy. So I did a ton of shed hunting back there trying to find this deer and never found it.
Yeah, there are some rounds that are known for they kind of just blast through and they don't expand like they're supposed to because they're more worried about their farther accuracy than the expansion and knocking down a deer. So you kind of got to do your homework a little bit and at least read some forms.
Optimal distance, it should be like hitting the target.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard Niles talk about like terminal performance. I think that's the wording that I've heard them use.
Oh yeah, they got that shit dialed.
It's fascinating. I mean, you hear them talk on our podcast and it's like, how do you engineer that? How does that make sense? It's weird.
Yeah.
But I think that's like the whitetail country when it's designed really to, I mean, this is not muzzleloader stuff, obviously, but just it's all I know. So it's like, anyway, it's a whole different topic, but that's pretty wild, man. So Nebraska's one state. What were did we get to the other ones?
Yep. North Dakota. I've been to now a few years in a row. I really love the country out there. There's so much land you can explore and get on, and even if it's out there, if it's not posted either per sign or online, it's huntable. So, but
and you were doing that archery,
yeah.
Like early season, you had that one. I think you had a hunt on YouTube posted.
I've got one on Chase
awesome.
Nation YouTube.
That was
North
a cool
Dakota.
one. Was it in a canoe or something too?
Yeah, a little kayak spot.
I love that kind of hunting. It's like it does something more for me.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why. It's just special.
Well, I told my buddy that we were talking about hunting around town and stuff. And I told him, like, I don't really hunt around home. Like, I just like to leave and focus on the hunt more than trying to find a day to, go hop into a stand here and just come home. I don't know. So I try to save those days I would hunt here and just bundle them into leaving for a few extra days, I suppose.
It's kind of cool.
It makes sense because then you can be in the hunt. Otherwise, you're in the tree stand 15 minutes from home thinking about the shit you got to do when you get home.
You got to get back home.
It's a different mindset.
Does help.
My wife's like, when's
mind.
the last light tonight? And then you still got to climb down. You got to canoe back to the car. So when are you going to be home? I'm like, working backwards. I don't know.
Then you're not going to like the number, so please don't ask.
And then when daylight saving happens, I'm like, hey, I'm going to be home earlier. Because it's dark sooner. The whole hour. Never works out that way.
There's some pretty cool spots, around our area to get on, water access land though.
Yeah, and it's. I don't know if you guys ever taken a train anywhere. I'm not talking about just like the Amtrak to Chicago, but you see parts of the country on a train ride that you'll never ever see otherwise, because these tracks go where no roads won't, and you're not seeing that stuff on a plane ride. I would argue the same for some of these waterways. Like you get in a water system and you're carving through territory that like you don't have to be. You could still be in this really developed area, and you're going to see parts of the terrain that make you feel like you are not in this area. And I think that's what I enjoy about it most is that you're getting into this area where you're pushed back. A lot of these are pushed back to the riverways. So you're coming out from the other angle. Now I know it's becoming far more popular to hunt that way. So
it's still a lot of work.
It's still
so
more mitigated than your average hunt that the guys are going up to the trailhead or the parking lot or whatever.
If you're doing it on a weekend, you're probably going to see other people in this area. But if you're pulling that shit off on some weeknight, I think you're probably in
you're right though. When you hop on even the Milwaukee River, like out in Grafton and Cedarburg, like when you get on there and you start floating, it's like, man, I don't feel like
you're in the wilderness.
Yeah, I feel like I'm up north.
It's pretty cool. And you do see, like I saw here in Oconomowoc, I'm hunting in some river areas, and one of the last hunts I had done, I think Caleb was with me, and there's some like activity in the water, and I just assumed like it's a muskrat. It's a freaking beaver. I was like, I would have never have thought a beaver lives in Oconomowoc.
Right?
I just didn't like. have you ever seen a fucking beaver?
That's pretty true. I've never seen a beaver.
I was like, dude, this is a freaking beaver. I was like, that was more exciting than the hunt. I'm gonna trap here. Can I trap here? I'm like calling up Zach Hansen with Okayest Trap. I'm like, bro, I saw a beaver tonight.
Tell me what you
can I get him? Do you think? Like,
I thought the same thing walking some Iowa properties this spring.
Do you know how to trap? Do you have your trap?
No, but there's so many things I want to do. I think as the kids start aging up more and more, my wife made a post about Father's Day about how like she's getting jealous because like my bonds with the kids are getting tighter. It's because this is our time to shine as dads. Babies are babies.
Yeah, they want their mom then.
Women get like they sniff a baby like, oh, babies. And they get all freaking like crazy. I think it's like a drug. And guys are like, okay, poops, it sleeps, and you feed it with your boobs. Like, that's okay. A little jealous, actually. And then they start to become children. You're like, this is my time to shine.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting into that groove now, I think. And I'm like, what else can I bring them out to do? And trapping feels like a pretty approachable thing, by and large. Like, you don't have to actually kill the animal, I don't think. I mean, probably you would in most cases. That's the idea. But also, like, there's way more woodsmanship going on there. It's not like I'm sitting in a blind telling them to shut up and stop moving.
It's a
different thing.
And it's a great teacher of responsibility because when you have a trap, it's your job to check it.
To go check it.
Every 24 hours.
Yes.
Like, this is what we required time with your children. No, we
like
gotta go.
You could learn a lot from taking that trapping course and talking to some of those guys and even just from,
have you trapped?
Skinning. Not like licensed.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I don't know. I know Tubbs has done a bit of trapping back in the day.
I caught 2 mouse today, actually. So
well, yeah, that counts.
I'm a pretty good trapper.
I trapped a lot of squirrels around here. I don't think you're supposed to release them, but we did some squirrel trapping around the house.
Yeah,
we caught lots of squirrels, some peanut butter.
No, it'd be cool to get into though. Something that you could definitely learn some things.
Yeah,
probably and if you got good at it, you could catch a lot of coyotes.
Yeah, and you do need to take a course.
Coyotes.
There's a lot I'm sure there's a lot to learn that you get into that, like, if you're not prepared or educated in some fashion, you'd be like, what do I do with this? Or how do I deal with that? Or I didn't mean to trap this.
Yeah.
It is cool how, just like everything though, it's all about your experience, your time into something because trapping, like you just mentioned coyotes, there's so many freaking coyotes everywhere we go around here, right? There's coyotes.
They're in this neighborhood. Like
Dave, who's a mutual acquaintance of both of ours, he started trapping last year because he's got all kinds of his property where he lives. He's got it's all fence lines. It's like farm fields, and it's just coyote after coyote. He's like, dude, I got my coyote trapping license. I'm going to town. He's sending updates. He's like, raccoon number 13, still no coyotes. Like, he's got cameras set up on like coyotes smelling all around him, but it's freaking like tough, you got to learn the little.
You got to learn from someone that's
who knows
timer,
that OG information.
For some time here in Oconomowoc, in downtown Oconomowoc, I think they actually tore the building down by the beach, by Fowler Lake, in the downtown area. There was an old, I forget what it's called now because it's actually been closed for some time, but there was an old like hunting sporting goods shop, retail shop downtown. And I think like 80% of what he carried was trapping equipment and supplies. Cool. I know because I was like, trying to sell this thing before it dies or what? And he's like, you can buy all my inventory. And I was like, what am I going to do with all this? I don't know anything about trapping yet.
No shortage of muskrats around here either.
Not at all. I remember going duck hunting with a buddy, and on our way out to the duck hunting spot, which is just like a big mud pit. I'm not sure what the deal's with duck hunting yet. Have yet to experience what it's supposed to be like. But anyway,
just go deer hunting.
We pass all these dudes trapping muskrats, and this guy had like, I don't know if it was like a wagon or what, but it was a literal pile of muskrats that was probably like at least as tall as this table. And I was like, wow, how many you guys have? They're like, well, probably like 90. I was like, what do you mean?
Are there any left?
Like, is this a good day? Like, no, this isn't really a good day. I was like, how many fucking muskrats live out here? What do you mean? I feel like you've got all of them. What do you do? What do you do with them? What happens next?
It's a lot of skinning.
It's a lot. Like, you guys skin 90 muskrats? What are you guys talking about?
You guys got people like 4 days to
this is
skin
wild.
those?
But yeah, these like burly dudes that were just like living in the swamp marsh trapping muskrats. Dude, you can see the traps everywhere. Now I know what they look like.
Dude, that's got this whole thing too. Just like public land deer hunters, like that's my spot, that's my area. Muskrats, they're like, that's my slough. Like up in Peshtigo, when I used to live
talking
out
about trappers, you talking about the muskrats themselves?
I'm talking about the hunters, the trappers of muskrats. because like that whole area is all harbor wetland shit, and there was like, oh, don't go by Harvey's area, like he'll fuck you up.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with a trapper. I'm
Yeah.
not like those guys they're old school. Like they might trap a human.
It'd be easy.
It'd be pretty
That'd
easy.
Be the easiest.
Well, what's the path of least resistance for this lazy Okayest hunter to walk down? Gotcha. Yeah. Anyway, so no, I don't trap. I would love to learn more. What I want to do is actually go out to Idaho and hang out with Zach for like a week or something and just tag along.
Yeah.
I think that would be really fun. Fun's relative. It depends on your version of fun, but that sounds like fun to me. Like uncharted adventure and unknown potential chaos. Like sounds awesome. But anyway.
Yeah. You mentioned you took your recruit on a black bear hunt.
Yeah. That was fun.
Well, because I have my tag this year. So
are you up in B?
No, just Unit C.
C.
How does the units for that work here?
It's quite different.
Okay.
C, you can get. You used to be able to get every other year.
Every couple of years.
Yeah, every 2 or 3 years. My dad has a C tag this year also. B, which is right across Highway 64, is like 12-ish years.
Okay.
Yeah. A is like 8 or 9 years, I think.
Is it?
But,
It's got to be based on population of bear.
Dogs.
Know,
North of 64,
they run dogs.
Highway B, you can run dogs. Highway C, or below south of 64 and C, you cannot run dogs. And obviously, anyone who has hounds wants to run their hounds every year. So it tends to be a lot more people applying.
Well, better for the hunt
members,
to run
this and
hounds
that.
because they will identify. If you tree a bear with the hounds, you can go identify if it's something you want to shoot or not. And if it's not, you call the hounds off and the bear crawls down. It goes about living its life. People don't realize that about
and
dogs.
they alternate every other year of who goes first.
Okay.
The sitters or the hound hunter.
Really?
Yeah.
So what is it this coming year?
I don't know.
It won't matter for him.
I don't have to
he's in
worry
C,
about it.
so he doesn't have to worry about it.
hounds. All right.
No dogs chasing.
So you hunt over like a bait pile?
Yeah. So what's your plan for that? How do you typically do it? What weapon are you bringing?
I don't know what I'm going to take yet. Either the muzzleloader pistol or my
muzzleloader pistol.
I think that'd be cool.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. That would
just
be,
trying to really make it hardcore.
It's a double barrel.
Okay.
Yeah. Double barrel muzzleloader.
Do you have a spot that you're interested in, or are you guys still
I'm going up with a buddy, and he knows a guy that runs an outfit up there, and I'm going to trade some video and photo production stuff.
Awesome.
In trade for him, kind of getting me on a bear. So
cool.
It
That's
should be
fair trade.
awesome.
Yeah.
Should be really cool. I'm excited, and I'm not looking for a booner. Like
just any old bear.
one of these guys.
That's what I always say to everyone who goes bear hunting in Wisconsin. You don't want to drag a 500-pound bear out of the woods. A bear's a bear. Just get one.
Yeah, let's try to have some like ridiculous mount or something. But
be cool.
You could shoot a really little bear and like tell a taxidermist like, you put it for one of those big foam ones.
Yeah, stretch it out.
Just stretch it out.
My
You can get some felt, right?
My taxidermist up in Carter, he told me I brought in my first bear that I got with a bow. And it was a decent bear for Wisconsin State, like 265 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a nice bear. That's a little bit.
What is a big bear? 500?
I mean, they get.
I'm
they
pretty
get
sure
huge.
the average is only like 200 pounds.
They just get fatter though, right? Like they're not getting like taller and shit. They're just fat.
No, they get longer and.
They're just
taller.
like giant raccoons.
Kind of, but they get pretty freaking smart with baiting and with dogs. They get smart. Those old bears are very, very smart.
I'm sure.
But my taxidermist told me, he's like, "What are you looking for a mount?" And I was like, "I don't know. What do you think?" He's like, "I have this one for him. It's gonna make it look really big." And I was like, "Well, he was a pretty like docile bear." He's like, "Well, it's a charging form." I was like,
Oh, geez.
"All right, let's go for it."
Pretty docile
So
bear.
now that's the one
Total
hanging up
opposite.
above my like going down the stairs. My kids are terrified to go in the basement because this bear's got teeth out, claws out.
Is it
They're
a
like,
full body or like half?
No, it's just a
Like a
half.
shoulder?
And that was before prices went freaking crazy. Because now, like, any bear mount's over $1,000.
My buddy
It's
Shane,
crazy.
That's another thing I'd love to do is taxidermy. Just try it.
I had a buddy that got real into that for a while. I mean, he got his first ones were like, what do you think, man? I was like, oh, it's kind of weird. Good job.
it supposed to smile
good to
at
see
me?
You. Yeah, good to see you practicing.
was this the deer version of The Rock with that eyebrow? What's going on there?
My buddy Shane Maddox, his dad is Harry Maddox. His dad owns a plumbing company down here, and he also has a deer farm. which is pretty neat because they talk about sheds like, jeez.
Yeah.
And it's also just fun to go see the deer and stuff. I haven't been there in a while, but his dad was the president of the Wisconsin chapter SCI for some time, and he's still involved with the organization. I don't think he's the president, but he's got a bear from some part of Alaska. I think it's a brown bear, and it's like, I don't know, 12 feet tall, standing up. I have a picture next to this thing. I look like a dwarf. I'm 6 foot tall. This bear looks like it'd eat 2 of me.
Right.
It's insane to see a mount of that stature in someone's home. Just like, look at this freaking bear. I should type in bear in my phone and see if I can find it. It's wild how big it is. But I've never seen a black bear. They can get big, but in my mind, I just feel like they just get fatter. That's why I say that, because I saw like a real big bear once. I'm going to look for it right now.
Have you ever dabbled in any skinning, taxidermy kind of stuff?
I mean, I do like all my Euros, and I'll cape out my
Here it is.
Sweet.
stuff, but I've never tried to actually mount one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god,
That's pretty decent size.
Can I show the GoPro? Is that,
The
will that
zebra
work?
in front of it.
Oh, you get it just right. There's you can see me shaking its hand, and it's like 2 leagues above me,
that's
dude.
huge.
Like, that was a while back, but yeah, and of course SCI. So of course there's a zebra throw right there, but the whole house is a trophy room. There's mounts literally everywhere. There's so many mounts that like most of them aren't even hung up.
I hear a lot of people say that what's their dream hunt, and they say like big brown bear. So
That must be a thing.
I don't know if I'm into that, but
I just want to get to Alaska. I know we sent y'all to Oregon, and I like all 4 more of that. But how do we get to Alaska?
Yukon moose is
Like, what do we need to
the
go
end game
do?
here.
How do we get? What
Archery,
does that
Yukon
look like?
moose.
oh, that would
Figure
be,
that one out,
yeah.
because that's been on my bucket
Who wants
list
to
since I was
partner with the
about 10.
Okayest Hunter crew to go to Alaska? I guarantee it will be entertainment. I don't know how it's going to go, but I do know how it's going to go. It's going to go odd. But like your guys' Oregon, did you see the Oregon hunt? The fork and chicken?
Yeah,
that was
cool.
pretty cool.
Very
I
cool.
thought. A lot of
It
guys
was
at
a lot
work
of
watched
fun.
it. And
It was a lot of fun.
I know we need to see more of that.
I know. That's the thing. It's hard to find time to do all this stuff and
Yeah.
to send people to different states. Like, you want to go? Yeah, I want to go. Let me see if I can get your teacher. So like your time off is pretty limited. Like it's either during the time you get
Just
it off
about
or
got
that's kind of
fired
it.
to go to Oregon.
Did you really?
Like 3 unpaid days, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know about this."
Well, there's only one that can do your job. So
was like, my
no one
other-
else is painting Fred Bear assholes.
I said, "My other boss tells me I gotta go."
Jesus. Yeah, is he paying the bills? No, but he is paying for this hunt.
He's paying for the hunt. Thank you, by the way.
No, it's not even like that. I don't intend for it to sound that way, but it's cool. Like I wanted to go and I couldn't
Yeah.
because it's birthday month in September for all 3 of my children. So that's like a tough one. You're never gonna go bow hunting for elk, are you, Eric? Probably not. I had one on the books, and then my son was born.
No, you said it earlier in the show.
Until they get older. Then
It's about to flip, where all of a sudden
That's
they
true.
may want to be in the Rocky Mountains on their birthday with Dad.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's gonna flip
That's how
one
my
day.
daughter is now. She likes going hunting. So
Yeah, at some point that like I have a daughter who is smarter than I am, and I have 2 boys that I'm certain are gonna be stronger than I am, and probably smarter. But they'll be able to like help me. You know, you carry it out. You know, I'm old now. My knee hurts. I don't know. My back's rough. I can't sleep good. You do it. Strapping young men and
Sure.
women. But we'll see. That would be ideal. Yeah, it's good stuff. And all the filming stuff that we talked about before we hit the record button, but that stuff's pretty neat because it's a time capsule. Like your daughter can go watch that in 10 years and you're going to be young Derek forever in that video, you know? And your personality is going to shine, and it's like it's just cool. I think to have that stuff, and you have a lot of that with your YouTube. Which, by the way, you have your own YouTube now that isn't.
Yep, it's just called Get Out and Hunt. It's just a hashtag.
How is that not
started,
taken?
Like I don't know. I did actually try to buy the copyright on the name. I think I did, but I know I got charged for it. Something.
Did you go to LegalZoom?
Somebody charged you something.
online. And then I got some online legal thing to copyright
Yeah, Zoom, probably Zoom.
and I did it, and then
I think it's called Zoom.
like it was
right?
supposed to be a one-time thing, and then a month later, like there was a hidden box to check to like for extra protection.
Oh yeah, you definitely use LegalZoom.
For $49.99 every month, we'll protect you a little bit extra.
Right.
Yeah, and you do have to update it every year. That's how that stuff works. We have like an actual we use LegalZoom to like file LLCs and shit, and then you bring in an actual attorney, and they're like, "Don't fucking do that ever again. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. It's a scam." I'm like, "Oh, well, I'm glad I have you. Maybe you're scamming me. I don't really know what's going on."
It's all a scam.
But yeah, we have some copyrights on stuff.
Yeah,
but just by simply having it out there is actually a copyright in and of itself. So like you have right of I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, obviously, but there's some technical shit that goes into just having it out there. You kind of win just by being the person doing it.
Right. I think that's true.
Because eventually another one's like, this guy's already got it.
A lot more money and they really want that name. They can have it.
Yeah. Well, it happens. That happened to like some friends that own companies. They're like, oh, this big company decided they have that name for some product that they used 10 years ago. They're going to turn it back on because we recarved the market out. And I was like, what?
Crazy.
We don't have the legal power to battle that. So we're just going to change our name. I was like, wow, that's disgusting. Yeah. The industry is cutthroat. Yeah, get out and hunt, though. That's a good name.
Get out and hunt. I do some shorts and some full videos, but I right now don't expect to see anything because it's working season for me. You know,
yeah.
I do have some cool stuff from the trip from Hawaii to put together, but see if I have time to get on that. I still haven't even unpacked my bow case from like 3 weeks ago now.
What are you gonna unpack in your bow case? Your bow's in there. What else? Gotta go shoot your bow.
A lot of stuff in there.
Well, when you're traveling to Hawaii, that bow case becomes
it weighed 49.9.
What are you putting in your bow case when you travel?
I could show you.
I'd like to just know. I'd like to hear some
spotting
of the stuff. You have my
bow case has my jet boil, a cooktop, first aid kit, bino harness, range finders, sleeping bag,
in your bow case,
tent, sleeping pad. And then 2 sticks.
What bow case do you have?
I think it's a Pelican.
It's like a hard case.
It's a hard case.
It's locked.
It's a flight for it's a hard flight.
But
case type.
I wouldn't have thought to stuff a bunch of shit in my bow case.
As much as you
I've been like, there's my bow.
Can.
My gun case to Oregon.
Did you guys do this?
I had tripods.
Well, what's the purpose of that? So then you just clear TSA with one foul swoop, or no, you're not clearing TSA, but you're checking your bag up to X amount of poundage. So you're like, why did I never ever have this thought about just putting other stuff in there?
And you could do that without flying too, but
this
it'd be
true.
great.
I didn't think about this either. This is like a new learning for Eric Clark. I did not have any. I was like, what do you mean you put other stuff in your bow? It's your bow.
It's a bow case. You can only put your bow in there.
I have a one train, like it's a one track mind for me. Like your bow goes in your bow case.
Yeah.
Do people put other stuff in their bow case during hunting season?
Yeah.
Like what?
Dude, some of those are fucking vending machines.
Shut the front door.
You're a snack guy. You fill that thing with candy bars.
Dude, my bow has my bow in it. Like my bow case has my bow in it. There's nothing else in there.
You're wasting all that extra
and my
room.
Release. And even that's like, I'm like, better get it in there, right? Like it's it's a hard case. I don't know. Fun.
Under the foam. I've got all my
under the foam.
Tools.
Even this is like, are you hiding drugs in there?
Under the foam.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean TSA. They're gonna check that. They're like, he's got drugs in the tire. No, under the foam, I've got all broadheads, fuel points, my kit with all my Allen wrenches.
That's a good
and
spot
Allen
to put your
keys for
field
my
tips.
bow.
Really?
Yeah, otherwise they fall over.
I just leave that shit out in the open. Some of like the Allen wrench and stuff, and I'm like,
but if you got a sleeping bag in there, you're not gonna have too much open space.
Yeah,
this is a revelation for me.
I'll send you a video of how I had it packed.
Like an unboxing video. He's gonna do an unboxing.
It's like a clown car, but it's a bow case.
and then
what else is coming out of this fucking thing?
A chair.
No, seriously.
You know what else fits under the foam?
Fuck the foam.
Stacks of hundreds.
I did fuck the foam on mine.
Yeah, see, you can fuck the foam.
You have so much stuff on top. You don't need the foam.
You need the foam to pad your bow, don't you?
You're taking up 1.5 inches of space.
If you put a sleeping pad down there, that's the foam. Efficiency.
Dude, I have never.
I actually put a tree stand in my.
What tree stand fit in your bow case?
The 0.5 Lone Wolf, but I had to take the side bolts off though, and I had it packed in there with everything, and I flew it to Hawaii and hunted out of a tree stand.
Holy crap! Because if you don't do that, how would you pack it? You'd have to put it in like a bag, right? And then check another bag. You're just basically checking another bag.
I want to check one bag and then carry on one bag when I go on a trip.
So that took a little bit. That's like some hardcore. That's a next level Tetris exercise that like.
And every time you do it, got one more piece in there.
I know it worked before. I can get it. Take it all out. Try again. Jeez. No, this is new for me. What are you packing in your dump pouch on your saddle? What goes in there? Your ropes, your lines?
Dude, I've been bringing less and less, actually. I try to bring as little as possible.
Yeah,
with
I know
me
because he
now.
doesn't snack. Don't tell me you don't snack.
I mean, if there's room for Snickers bar in my pocket,
That's it.
See, the mini Snickers. All you bring is a
If
mini.
it's a hot day, it's going to melt. What are you going to do with that? We're going to put that
If
on your
it's a
body.
hot day, you don't need food.
No, you're
You'll
not.
be
You're not
fine.
snacking.
You're not snacking. You're hunting.
I'm
See,
always
look
snacking.
I'm so happy I got somebody who agrees
always
with me.
snacking guy. Like I am. I just like I gotta have an activity.
Yeah.
Adam, my buddy, he brings like an Nalgene, like an 84-ounce Nalgene of water.
I
like,
don't
dude,
bring.
that's like
I
8
won't bring
pounds.
water though.
You bought the lightest stand on the market, so you can bring 8 pounds of water. Drink it at the truck. Carry it in your gut.
Yeah.
You're good.
I'll crush an energy drink before I go, and then I don't have any water at all, which I will often regret if like shit gets weird.
I don't ever bring.
But I don't bring water. I don't
Depends
know.
on where you're going. You know,
That's true. And if
if
you're early
if you're
season
walking and
it's
you're
hot,
just into
I think
spot
water is
coming
like a
out.
nice idea, but like food's a must.
I'll drink bug spray if I have to.
Food doesn't weigh as much as water weighs, and water's like annoying.
How much food are you packing on a
16-inch sub.
on
Not a
a
big
4
one, but
hour
like
on a 4 hour hunt?
Yeah, let's get the rundown.
how much
We
food
just
are
did
you
an unboxing. What's a 4-hour hunt look
All
like,
right,
Clark?
I'll drink the energy drink on the way from Quick Trip to the stand.
Okay.
So part of that's in the car, part of that's maybe on the way to the stand. Usually I try to drink before I go to get to the woods, but I'm gonna have to pee like a racehorse.
Where are you putting your 3-piece chicken tenders?
So then I'm eating the chicken
In
on
the
the way
side
because that's
pouch, dump
usually going to
pouch.
be dinner. I'm a big evening hunter
Okay.
because I don't really know what
Do
I'm
you
getting
have
into.
the buffalo dipping sauce?
No, not in the car. I just do the fried wings, and then I'm doing like one of those RX bars or a Cliff bar or 2 of them. Like the peanut butter stuff is pretty good because a lot of protein. The peanut butter tastes nice. Those ones that have the egg in them, those RX bars,
I haven't tried those.
it just sticks in your teeth weird. Looks like you ate a piece of poop. You know, by the time you smile at someone, it's a little bit weird.
And this is before the hunt.
No. Now at this point, I'm wondering like, when am I going to eat that? And then I usually bring like some sort of trail mix
Is that
because
the
that's
first
fun.
thing you go for? Or what's the first thing you go for always? You got to have a routine.
I have an apple or a banana.
Oh.
Yeah,
So you do that after to brush your teeth.
that's a good idea. Yeah, it's usually like, I have all these things. Like it's like some sort of chocolate or some sort of trail mix plus the bar plus a fruit. It's a thing. And an all day sit, I'm bringing like a thermos of like SpaghettiOs or something. It stays hot.
That's a good idea.
It's really great. You got to cook it up first in the microwave, then you dump it in there, and you put that in your pack, and you're good. Now you got like a warm meal in the stand. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not at that point. I'm not getting out of the stand at all, unless I have to poop, because I've not done a sky dump. But if I'm going to sit in the stand all day, which I've done, I'm going to have some glorious food up there. It's amazing.
There's some Polish joke I heard. It reminds me of a thermos.
What
Like
was that sky dump on? Was that you guys?
Yeah, that was
well,
Brian.
it was Brian, but he was on
Brian.
our show talking about it.
Yeah. There's some ridiculous Polish joke about a kid in school, a Polish kid who sees his teacher eating out of a thermos. And he says, "What do you got in there?" And she says, "Oh, I got, hot tea in here or whatever." And he says, "Well, what are you drinking it out of?" And she says something like, "Oh, it's a thermos. Keeps cold things cold and hot things hot." He says, "Oh, that's really cool." So the next day he comes to school. His teacher sees he's got a thermos. And he goes, "Look, I got a thermos." She goes, "Oh, that's awesome. What do you got in there?" Little Polish kid says, "I got a popsicle and some chicken noodle soup." Keeps cold things cold and hot things hot.
Popsicle's pretty fun. That'd be a fun one to bring in winter.
I'm addicted to coffee. So
Yeah.
I'm taking
100%.
I'm taking my jet boil usually and just like a bag of grounds.
Oh, he's making fresh.
This is why I think this is the allure of duck hunting, because I've seen
It's the
pictures of
only
guys in
reason
duck boats
I've
and they're
ever
like,
wanted to
they're
waterfall.
like making fried eggs on the fucking duck boat and drinking coffee. I'm like, what is this shit? You could do that when you're deer hunting. That looks fun. I haven't experienced that yet, but it sounds like amazing. I'm a big breakfast buff. Every weekend I cook breakfast for the family. I love it. I love breakfast.
Hey, Tyler Meaden, Up Duck episode. You're going to cook Eric and I breakfast on a duck boat.
Yeah, I'm not going duck hunting with those guys unless they cook breakfast
There
or
better
allow
be-
me to do so.
So fresh coffee.
Fresh coffee.
That's
I mean,
a big
that's
one.
the only thing that's on my brain on a morning hunt is like, when
But
can I get my coffee?
It's easier, to carry a thermos, but
It never works.
yeah.
It never works the way you want it to, in my
But
experience.
yeah, like a fresh, and then with the pressed
Oh yeah, the French press.
You
Yeah.
French press that coffee into the jet boil. Oh man,
How good did that percolator coffee taste when we were at turkey camp?
Oh, it was great.
The percolator does a damn good brew of coffee.
Yes, it does.
It's different. It's different, but I don't know how because it turns like I last year went camping and I brought the percolator and brewed, and I was like, this is just good. I'm like, it's because I'm camping and it's part of like the ambiance.
it's all about the temperature of the water.
It was
that hits the
weirdly
grounds.
good because I do French press. I'm pretty bougie about my coffee around here, like Derek knows, and
I appreciate
that shit's
that.
good.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Good coffee, man.
Yeah, we have the Swamp Donkey coffee.
I haven't had it.
It's good. So our grounds coffee, Ed Speakman, he's the one that brews. He like does it. It's out in PA. He's got a really fancy roaster in his basement. He's doing the whole small business
Sweet.
hustle shit
It's
that we're
this,
doing.
but coffee.
Yeah, exactly. And he gets his beans from like this really awesome spot, and then if you order a bag of our coffee, he does all the stuff, and you'll get it like fresh though, because he won't pack it until you order it.
Nice.
So like it's not just sitting there waiting to go. It's like
It's like Culver's.
And I've been buying this coffee. I don't know where it's actually made. I think in Milwaukee, but it's like it was brewed. You know, it tells you on there with a date
Mhm.
of when they made it, roasted it.
One of my wife's good friends, Kate, who's not listening probably, but if she is, shout out to Kate.
She might be.
She was a roaster for a local coffee company. Like she was a stay-at-home mom,
Mhm.
and then she would like do like a couple hours a day in the morning, and then like at
Roast
night.
it. It
She was
smells
like,
good.
and I was like, tell
That'd
me
be
what
cool.
you. I was like, tell me what you
It's
know.
another cool thing.
Teach
to
me
learn.
what you know, because like you're gonna learn shit that I don't know about coffee. I was like, tell me everything you know. What's the good?
I've
what's
been
the
a
good
big fan
stuff?
of light roast for the longest time because it just has more flavor and more caffeine. And I'm all about like if I'm gonna drink, I want the booze. Not just drinking like a beer tastes fine. That's fine. But if I'm drinking, it's like I have a purpose here. If I'm drinking coffee, I have a purpose here. I'm not going to drink decaf ever. I never have. I don't see the point
Unless
of that.
you're really thirsty,
It
and
doesn't make sense.
you know,
I'm drinking coffee to fall asleep. Are you crazy?
I could fall asleep. I could have a cup of coffee
and then still
go
fall.
to
Yeah,
bed.
I'm fine. But I'm almost 40 now, and I think the light roast is more acidic, and I'm getting like some heartburn problems. That's why I almost yacked in my mouth the last 2 podcasts ago. I had a sip of coffee. I was like,
That
I
messed you
choked
up
on my
for like
own-
an hour.
dude, it was terrible. I puked in my mouth on the fucking live podcast.
See, I'm
from
turning
drinking
you.
coffee.
I'm turning you on to the Quick Trip.
But now the dark
roasters,
roast, the dark roast, is
Kona
what's up.
dark roast at the Quick Trip
It's delicious.
roaster. Yep.
But our coffee, we have a light roast and a dark roast. We have
I
a
don't
shooter
wanna
buck and
say-
the swamp donkey is a dark roast, and that is the shit. That's got like the grit, the flavor. You like this is the. I really do think it's probably what Grandpa drank because
Well,
Grandpa didn't. There was none of this bougie coffee shit back then. It was like you fucking brew the coffee and you get what you get, and you don't put up a fit.
If there's any left,
Yes.
you pour what you need because there's more over here.
I think I'm gonna be all right here. It's pretty delicious stuff.
I'm glad I'm working on you slowly. I don't want to say I told you
So,
so,
you are right about that.
but I told you so.
That coffee thing at Quick Trip, I didn't know it. I didn't understand what it was. I thought it was like a frappuccino.
Oh,
maker
it's
or
scary.
some
It's
bullshit.
intimidating.
Yeah, but
I watched a lot of people make coffee on that before I went up there and did that.
What's happening over there? Yeah.
Fancy machine.
I wonder how many people you've educated.
I've only pressed 2 buttons on that. That's it.
So when you're hunting, I didn't, because I totally botched the intro with all the audio bullshit. Latitude and Rack Hub and Quick Trip and Gerber Gear, all partners of ours. Latitude is about to be on the precipice of like shit's going to get busy because I don't think anyone cares about a saddle in the middle of summer, but you want to start practicing, you want to get used to your gear, you want to start throwing that stuff up. I've hung my sticks on the tree in the front yard because my daughter's now become obsessed with climbing trees. So to help her, I just was like, well, you know, you can climb the tree on your own. Here's some climbing sticks. So she's been loving it. It's been quite awesome. What are you hunting out of? I don't know your setup. You talked about a lone wolf for a second
I've
there.
got like I'm not one brand of anything, you know. So I've got tons
Which
of
is
stuff.
how you should have a tool for. Derek is not either.
Yeah,
It's
I've got
like, this is
everything, too.
you got the tools in the toolbox for different situations and scenarios. So
Yeah,
we're not. Our
I'm
sponsors are really cool because they know that people live their lives and do other shit. So we're not gonna be like, you only have to use this one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when I hunt in Wisconsin, I usually carry like just a hang on with 3 steps or 2 steps and a
Okay.
hater or something, just light setup, and sometimes I'll just climb a tree too, like just
I've done that in the past.
walk with no stand. I mean, but yeah, I do typically I'll hang a couple spots, you know,
Mhm.
move them around, and I won't really leave a setup out, too long in the same spot. I do have some permanent stands up, in the national forest up there.
Because you hunt northern Wisconsin too, right?
Bayfield County.
Yeah, that's tough hunting up there.
We just leave, I leave stands out up there, cheap ones. Come back to them, check on them, make sure they're safe.
Just get your sticks and you climb back up.
I just leave everything there, and sometimes just leave the sticks on the ground. So if someone walks by, they can't see maybe the sticks.
Bold move there, Cotton.
But you don't run into a lot of people
up there. It's different. Down here, be gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I've lost a few stands down in this area too in the past. It's like, can you imagine being such a loser? Like you gotta. I
don't know who would do that. I don't have the gall to do it. I would be in any movie scene where they're doing something they shouldn't be doing. They're about to steal some sort of file and they're in the room and people are coming. I'm like, oh fuck, they're gonna get caught. Like I can't.
Think about it though. Like there's a risk of the hunter coming in and like. Imagine that confrontation. Like
that's it.
He's halfway
up
and the guy's like got a gun, and I was like, dude. I mean, I don't know.
I think about the same thing even with trail cameras. I've had a number of trail cameras yanked from public lands, which is what it is. But every time I've had one yanked, I've like found another camera within like 100 yards. I'm like, who am I to believe that that's not the guy?
Yeah.
But But
it's
still,
tough.
you don't know, so you don't touch.
But yeah,
you don't touch.
Don't steal people's crap.
Leave other shit alone.
Yeah, come on, guys.
So how did you get started hunting up north? Is that where you started hunting?
Yeah, my dad used to take me up there when I was a kid, and we hunted in the Chequamegon forest, outside of like Winter Hayward area for, a long time. And I recently just stopped hunting that area because the wolves did move in one year and kind of just pushed all the deer out. And I'm sure it's probably still good. Just haven't been back.
And if you don't have the time to go up, it's really tough.
In the past like 5 years now, we switched up to Bayfield County and got in a better herd of deer up there. So we've been hashing it out up there. I'm excited. Actually, I'm going up this weekend to get some work done. Our family has like a little cabin up there that's been in the family forever, and it's adjacent to all the county land.
Awesome.
So we can just bomb right out
the back of the cabin?
Out the back of the cabin and go hunting, so.
That's sweet. Do you do archery hunting up there or mostly gun?
Yeah, we got a crew, we call it the rut trip, and it's like 5 or 6 of us now. Used to be more.
Mostly family or friends?
Friends, and we do like the rut trip every year. We're up in the Northwoods, so we take a week and just bow hunt up there for the rut.
That's badass.
And the last few years, we've been putting deer on the meat pole up there.
That's amazing.
But a lot of does too. But you can get into areas up there that there's tons of deer, and then 5 miles away, maybe they're not.
Yeah.
So just kind of do what we can to keep the deer around too. And then you can bait up there too. So, if we're up there and we'll put some corn in the driveway just to keep them around. And,
hell yeah.
But
don't
get up there enough to actually probably do anything about it. But
you talk about the Bayfield area?
Yeah, up north.
Yeah. I think I was talking to someone the other day, and it wasn't on the podcast. I don't think. My memory's done. I have too many things going on that I can't keep anything straight. It's all just the same thing. But I was talking to someone about, I've always had like these hopes and desires and dreams of going back up north to where my dad and I started hunting up the Nicolay. And I don't know when or how that is going to happen. It shouldn't be that complicated.
I think if
I don't know if it'd
you're
be
thinking
worth
about
it,
you probably will someday. Then
I think it will happen. But I also
it's going to start with a trip up to our cabin.
That's a good call.
You guys, you need to bring the kids up. Yeah. We don't have accommodations, so you either have to rent a place.
Is your wife still listening to this podcast right now?
Maybe.
Siri, text Ashley Melkor.
Whereabouts?
Go through the boss.
Whereabouts are you guys?
We're nowhere near as far as north of you. We're in a sweet little pocket. We're in far northern. My parents' cabin is in far northern Oconomowoc County, which is like northeast, and we're right at the bottom of Forest County. So like Forest County, Oconomowoc County, Langlade. All 3 of those, that's where I grew up hunting.
Nice.
And that's a spot yet where there's wolves, but nowhere near what it's like in far northern.
Yeah.
You're further north than where you're at?
Oh, we're not that far north.
I'm hunting like 20 minutes from Lake Superior shores. up there.
About as far north as you can get.
I used to hunt.
And it's beautiful country up there. It gets back. I mean, there's terrain, there's hills. There's big drainage creeks coming in off of the lake. There's egg fields. It's beautiful country.
It's a cool area.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
My dad and I used to hunt. I'm going to pull up a map here on the screen just to share with everybody, so everyone knows what the hell we're talking about and looking at, because we can do that because we have this technology, and believe it or not, I can actually do some stuff.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Everyone can
Hey,
break.
I was
break
bummed
something.
that Greg wasn't going to be in. So cheers.
Yeah, cheers to Greg.
Yeah,
I know he's
Greg,
got a lot going on.
Yeah, we miss
So-
you, Greg.
He'll be around soon enough, I'm sure. I think this should pop up on the screen here. But so if I'm looking at Wisconsin, we can see the Nicolay Chequamegon. Wow,
Chequamegon.
I always just said Chequamegon. I didn't actually get the Q correct. But I think I can make this like the bigger screen. Oh boy.
I bet you're probably somewhere around Hayward.
So we used to hunt Crivets / Phelps
Oh, okay.
area.
You're closer to us.
So where is that? Where am I?
Northeastern. See, iron.
Iron up to the right.
I've
here
heard
more?
I've heard Crivets area is a tough hunt.
Crivets area is not great either.
Where? Why can't I find it?
Okay, see Iron Mountain there? Chequamegon Nicolay National Forest.
Rhinelander.
You're
That
close
what?
to your cursor, right around there. There's Crivets,
Where is it? Why am I blind?
bottom right, southeast of your cursor. Down, you're in Michigan. That's Michigan.
Really? Did I
Yeah.
go too far?
Yeah. Just
Oh, it's
come down.
it's lagging
You see
on
Crivets?
the TV. My bad. That's right. That's why.
Crivets.
So
Yeah, I know where Crivets is at. That's where you started hunting.
yeah, off of, like actually, I wonder.
Long Lake, Leona. There.
I wonder. Nicolay. I don't know if this is going to find it or not. Oh, literally. So this will load in a second. Mail Route Road is a road I remember hunting off of. And I remember there was like an airstrip, like some sort of airport, like some shit, you land in like this.
Someone's gonna go to this pin and shoot a big buck this year.
I mean, good luck. I don't know if there's any deer here or not. My dad got treated by.
buck would be more accurate.
Yeah, so like quite specifically, I remember like
nice.
there's a lot going
Big
on
Sam Lake.
up here.
Don't talk about that lake.
But we hunted up there. This is 20 years ago. So like I don't think I'm giving anything away. My dad might be face palming right now when he listens to this, but we were right on the line of Michigan. I remember like we were right there by the
I might
UP.
have a friend who would yell at you about that lake being on screen for muskies. I just gave it away because I said the
Oh
word.
yeah, you didn't say. So I remember one year we camped or we got a hotel. I wonder if I can see it on here. This is like some memory lane shit. It may have been the Lakeview Lodge.
You want to know? Do you want to know the name of the
We
road?
literally stayed at the Lakewood Lodge, and I have a picture of this on my phone somewhere because back then I think I had a BlackBerry, and I took a picture, and it said, "Welcome to Phelps. You can now turn your clocks back 20 years because nothing has changed." And I was like, "Holy shit!" And it was like, there's some restaurant in town here that had like these pancakes that were like bigger than plates. And I was like, a teenage boy, so I didn't heed the warning of my dad of like, you're not going to eat all those pancakes. And he was right; they were way more than I could handle. I did not eat all the pancakes; it was way too many pancakes. So I have some fond memories, and there's some lakes up there. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, in fall, you're looking at this lake, and it's pure glass. You're getting a perfect reflection of the fall leaves. A lot of the lake is covered in the leaves, and we're pulling up and cooking food on the tailgate, and I'm like, this is heaven, right? Like I know Alaska looks amazing and Oregon's beautiful, but like I don't know, something about the Northwoods is like really amazing.
Yeah.
So that's got me like obsessed with all this shit. It was less about the deer, more about all of that other stuff. And then the deer started to really hook me in over time too. So now it's the whole picture. But yeah, anyway, so I'd love to go up to your cabin or get back up north someday. I also know that I need a truck because those logging roads are no joke.
Yeah, they're better than they used to be though, because snowmobile clubs come and fix them so they
Really?
can ride through them. we had a spot that you could barely crawl through, and one year it was like
You get like a
there's
trench or something like that, and your tire gets stuck. Like you got to ride that thing all the way through till it pops out.
And then the next year there's cars parked where we were. The previous. It's like, God,
jeez, interesting.
Totally just bombed.
Well, it's not bad for the guys with the cars. My dad had this old Dodge Ram Charger. It was like a four barrel carb, like 350 V8. And we'd get into some shit with that. Like there's down trees we're like basically running over. I was like, holy hell.
That's like my childhood memories of like the old logging roads. And like the ones that went on for a long way and had a bunch of turnoffs. Oh. Like if you didn't get up early enough, you got stuck behind old Billy or whoever, there would be like 12 cars and they're all like it's opening day. And they would peel off one way, peel off the other way.
Tony said I should edit that part out. I don't know. I mean, like, look, that was 20 years ago. There's no, we didn't get any damn deer. So like, trust me, that ain't the spot. Don't go to that spot if you want to get something. That's not the spot to go.
Hunters are not necessarily flocking to northern Wisconsin.
No, and that's just it. We flocked away because like there's no deer. But you haven't had that issue.
We're not. I'm not up quite as far.
So we talked about this on previously. I talked to it with someone else about how guys that hunt up north are kind of so used to just going up there, going to the same spot.
Yeah,
and then. Literally the same ladder stand that's been there for 25, 30, 40 years. Deer know that's there. Like they're going to look at it probably. And so anyways, or there's not deer and they're like, oh, there's no deer. But, a couple miles maybe away, check it out, check some spots out. You might get into more deer.
Yeah,
but
you might.
People
I don't know how to break down like the spot that you hunt locally-ish. Like it's such a big tract. I'm like, I have no concept how to break tracks down yet. That's a whole different ball game. I was way in over my skis when I was like, I'm going to go off and find my own spot now. That didn't go well. I couldn't find anything that made any sense to me. I could have been in the good stuff or not in the good. I didn't know. I have no idea. So you go up north and you just see timber on maps everywhere. Yeah. You can look at topos and stuff, but I don't know. It's until you get boots on the ground and you actually find real stuff over years and years of like collecting data. I don't know that you can pull it off with a little bit of luck.
Yeah, doing it, pre-digital mapping would have been tough.
That's what we did back then.
Microsoft Terra server.
We didn't have
printed
that.
off maps.
Yes,
and I used to carry them into my room.
It was
carried them, and posted them up all over my room.
I thought it was so cool when we finally had like an aerial one.
Yeah.
Like, wow, this is different, Not just the lines for the topo.
It's I remember you'd have to have like a map man in the passenger seat. Where are we? Well, I think we're about here. But you don't actually know. You're just kind of like, this looks about to be, this is the bend.
I really think that people who hunt the northern part of Wisconsin, if they got a little bit more interested in still hunting, could do quite well.
Oh,
like absolutely. The trackers of Maine.
If you just move
for gun season.
Yeah, for gun season. If you could, with a rifle in some hardwood timber or near hardwood, I really think that if you focus your time onto still hunting and just being able to slow down.
There's always snow up there.
When you need to slow down, well, even if you didn't have snow, just knowing when to slow down and when to speed up and to move. If you're not in deer, don't sit the same spot you sat 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. But like move around and just know. If you really studied that, I think that'd be. It is a wildly effective tactic for a lot of people who do it.
You're tracking.
Yeah, kind of.
You want to pick up a track.
Yeah, well, that's what we love in the Northwoods. If you get fresh snow, you can hop on a
then
track.
You just feel like you got the cheat code.
You can just keep going until you finally fail enough where you're like ready to go home. But it's
at some point you'll run into the deer.
Yeah, you will. You'll kick it up. But if you, that's how you get better. Just keep trying it. And slower and slower. It's fun when it comes together that way.
It does. There's an element there to being up north. I don't know. So I imagine I'll end up there. It just, even if it's just for shits and giggles, like I don't even need to get a deer. I just being up there is something. Having the presence of danger of wolves and bears and vast terrain where you're like, you get turned around, which by the way is like a problem for me now. I'm aging up and I'm getting worse at land nav, which is concerning. I recognize it. I have enough self-awareness, so I'm getting worse. I used to be really good at this shit, and I'm like, I'm not.
Greg came up not too many years ago. He probably came up like 4 years ago and hunted opening day up by us.
How did he do? Did he see anything?
I think he saw a doe and then had one move through. he was in some pretty tight pines on the edge of like a cedar swamp.
Mhm.
And I think he had one move through that he didn't know what it was. But like I had a spot set up for him. He had to navigate there in the dark by my freaking tacks.
That's tough.
I was like, all right, here's where your turnoff is. Like, good luck. Hope you find it.
Drop him off in the dark at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
See you on
That
the other
kinda-
side.
That kind of thing.
That is it. Would you have been in walkie-talkie range of him or no?
I don't know. I mean, maybe. We didn't have
I always
walkie-talkie.
love that, like the walkie-talkie.
No cell service.
Right. No, you're not going to have that. That's for sure. Yeah, you'd have to come find me. Eric's not back yet.
Help!
Yeah, start screaming, man.
Help!
It gets dark. It's game over for me if I don't have like a clear idea of how the hell I got there. I spin in one circle, my equilibrium gets screwed up, and I'm done for. I don't know what's going on anymore. I was like, we were dragging her buck out last year. I was like, this doesn't feel right, and I was totally wrong. And I was very confident in my wrongness.
You were very confident.
I was like, really, we're really going this way. Wow, I'm very turned around.
It happens in the dark. If you walk in somewhere in the dark and then you're confused about how you came in, or you are going somewhere in the dark in the evening,
You saw it firsthand when I
it's really
couldn't
tough.
track my deer
it's really tough.
last year. You came down from West Bend to help me track a deer, and I was about as flustered as I think I have ever been in my entire fucking life. I was just not myself. I was very distressed.
That'll do it to you, though.
But it was a lot of it being in the dark, and I was like, "Wow, I don't know what's going on." You know, stupid deer.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough in the dark, no doubt. We've had a couple buddies that have gotten lost before too.
It's always funny because if you find them, it's fine.
Shoot on the walkie-talkie. Hey, dude, my walkie-talkie's about to die. Just honk the horn. I'm like, did you honk it? I'm like, yeah. She's like, shit. I'm like,
Panic level 10.
I'm like,
Panic level 10.
I'm like, shoot off your gun. I hear like, I'm like, oh boy, you got a ways to come. He made it back.
You better
How
start
many
a fire.
seconds ago did you shoot that?
You better start a fire and hunger
Yeah.
down. We'll come
So,
find you.
That was back in walkie-talkie time, which wasn't that long ago.
No, it
maybe
wasn't.
10.
I think those would still be an
15 years ago.
effective tool to have for these scenarios.
I will never forget and I've told the story before, but my first year of gun hunting up there, my dad found this spot. We went down there. I was 12 years old. Nicolay National Forest. We're gun hunting. Dad shoots a buck. We saw 2 bucks. I was in bow hunting mode. Dad trained me for bow hunting. Wait for your shot, blah, blah, blah. I'm like watching these 2 really nice bucks through my scope. He's like, you see him? I'm like, yep. He's like, shoot one. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, they're walking. Like, I'm not going to shoot. He doesn't know what he's I was in bow hunting mode. So eventually, like, they work into this thicket and there's a big blowdown. And I lost him behind a hill. And he's like, there's one right there. It's huge. Shoot it. And he's like grabbing my shoulders and putting me
Oh
on
my
it.
God.
And I'm like, it's standing still looking at us. I can't see it. Its back is lined up with the blowdown. I cannot see it. And I'm like, Dad, just shoot it. I don't know where it is. He throws his gun up. Boom, shoots. Deer runs off. He goes off, tracking it after a little while. He's like, I gotta go track it. Keep your gun on this lane, go track it. He went off and tracked it, and he told me he'd be back in 10 minutes. It was like 3 hours later. I had heard
I remember this
gunshot
story.
after gunshot. He didn't come back. He just got on the truck. He jumped the deer, and he just kept going. It's his first year hunting with me, right?
Yeah.
It's my first year hunting with him. So like he kept going. So eventually he came back. I was a little freaked out, but he didn't find the buck.
Oh.
But he was like, I know this deer's dead. So like we went back every day to that same area. And after season, the one day he packed a lunch and he took his compass and he's like, I'm not coming out of that swamp until I find that buck. And I was like, Mom, you're gonna let him do this? And that's, like that showed me like this is what you do.
Yeah.
And he went out there and he found it. Not far from where we last had blood.
Holy
That's
shit.
awesome.
We thought it went this way, it went that way, and he found it. But I was like, that little moment of like,
I wonder what that felt
this
like
is
for
what
him.
you do.
I wonder what he felt in that moment of I fucking found
Well,
it.
it sucks because he knew he killed that thing.
He
and
knew.
couldn't-
Yeah.
And that's
I've
why
been
he
there.
kept going after it because he knew it was
He
like,
knew it was-
he knew it was like hit.
But you were panicking.
I was freaking
You thought your
out.
dad like got
I
shot or
thought he
something.
got killed for sure.
You're hearing
12-year-old.
gunshots.
I probably
He's not
heard like
coming back.
15
Dad's
shots,
not coming back.
within the area, and I'm like, oh my God, he's dead.
You've
Yeah.
seen too
I
many
finished
movies.
him off.
You just watch like Assault on Precinct 13 or something like that.
But I went back every day, and I just like remember thinking like, holy shit, like he's gonna find it, and like that just stuck with me. Like you do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Do whatever
that's
you gotta
great.
do.
I'm separate topic. Hopefully you and Jeremy found a time for dropping pins.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But you'll have to ask him. Like, I'm pretty sure him, my cousin Mike, and Melissa all got dropped in the woods with compasses by my Uncle Gary and said, just find your way out.
I love that.
That's what you're dealing with him is like similar. Like, this is your tool. You can figure it out. And they did.
Could you get in trouble if you
as a parent
your
now
kids to do that?
I mean,
You would be reported so fast.
dude, we put a GoPro on my daughter a couple years back when we were morel mushroom hunting at a Waukesha County Land Conservancy property. And in the moment, we were all just having a good time. Like, and she's back there and
Walking around through the woods.
fucking watch the footage and it looks like abusive. She's like, you just think she's on her own. Like, cause we, on a GoPro, we look pretty far away. And she's like, I'm in prickers. Help. Help.
That's
And I'm like, you're fine. You hear me? You're fine. Just come on. And then we're not to be seen. And she's just like struggle busing. And we're watching footage. We're like, holy shit. This is pretty interesting. Like, just a GoPro on your kid in the woods as they're falling. You should do this with Gus someday and be like, oh, I should probably slow down, or I should be nicer, or a myriad of things as a parent. It was a pretty eye-opening experience. And my mother-in-law watching, she's like mad at us. She's like, I can't believe you guys did this to her. I was like, what? We were right there. You didn't understand.
This
You
is
don't
good
understand.
for kids. This is good for them.
It's pretty funny. I should find that. It exists somewhere. I don't know what the hell it is now. But
Well, kids don't even know what a compass is nowadays, probably.
No.
Dane does because he's obsessed with weird shit. He's got I have a lens-setted compass, which you would use for land nav appropriately. You like find the horizon and shit, and you figure out where you're at. Like, what I took land nav. I used to know how to do this shit. I don't anymore. And I brushed up on. I went to the boundary waters because I was like, oh, shit's gonna get weird, and it did. So like, it actually helped out. But Dane's got my old lens-setted compass, and he like uses it all the time. He doesn't know what he's doing with it, but he does know
But
things.
I will say on that topic, it's all about spatial awareness, and it is about how you learn, like how your brain works.
Yeah.
There are people who are programmed that this is easy for them, and there are people who are programmed where no matter what you study or look at, like it's really hard for them.
Is that all women that drive cars? I don't know where they're going.
I didn't say that. Eric said that, but it's out there.
I'm just making fun of my wife. How do we get here? What do you mean? Like, as a male, I'll go somewhere once and I got it locked in. But you put me in a subdivision, I don't know how to get my way out. You put me inside of a hospital or a building, I have no idea what's happening.
Labyrinth is what that is.
Like, what's that show? Doesn't matter. There's some show where he's walking all these white halls all the damn time. I can't. Severance.
Yeah, well, it's.
And I'm like, how the hell? But in the woods, I can figure it out.
I know what you mean. You walk into a hospital and all of a sudden you don't know where. So if you're sitting in a chair,
Sir, do you need help? Yeah.
Well, I kind of if you think about it, and you're like, man, I really don't know which way I'm facing right now. Kind of screws with your head a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you second guess yourself. As soon as you second guess
Then
yourself,
it's game over.
That
You're
north.
Yeah,
Oh,
it doesn't work. But the compass, you always know, okay, well, I know the road is that way always. It's always north. So at least, if nothing else, I can head north in some general, and I will hit a road.
Walk a straight line.
I got in an argument with a lady.
A lady? Was it your wife?
In our teacher's lounge.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
About north and south. She was talking about she didn't know something, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, you just had north from school. And she was like, I don't know that north, south, east bullshit. And I was like, I said, Jody, you're a science teacher. And she was like, ah! And I was like, you need to know that.
Yeah.
It was like the first season of Okayest Hunter Show when Greg and I were down here arguing me about I was like, dude, I fucking live here. That is north. No, that's north. I'm like, you're wrong. You couldn't find your way to what paper bag. I'm like, dude, but I know where I am right now. Okay.
I sat here so awkwardly.
It was when Jace zoomed in on your face. That was probably the best scene I had seen in my entire life because Derek's like,
I'm like,
I agree with Eric, but Greg's raising his voice, and now I feel awkward. I don't know what to do.
I'm just gonna be quiet.
But he was dead wrong, and then he made me feel like I was the jackass. Yeah, we're like a married couple. I mean, really,
you are.
It's we bicker a lot, but
So
north is that way.
What do you feel most optimistic about this season coming up? Like you got a bunch of trips planned. You just came back from Hawaii. What are you looking forward to the most? What's the one that like really gets you going?
I'm hoping to draw a South Dakota tag. So I don't know if I will, but that would be it. for
And that's good
muley.
for muley or
Yeah, I applied for the either or,
Cool.
any buck.
yeah.
So we'll see about that. But I really have a thing for Nebraska late season. I mean, I love bow hunting the most, but I just can't wait to get back out
Heck
into
yeah.
bigger country. It's just beautiful out there.
That's cool. Do the whitetail? Where do the whitetail adrenaline guys hunt? Is it Nebraska?
They hunt
doing a
all
lot
over.
of yeah.
They
but
hunt a lot.
they're doing a lot of that. Like when they're doing that army crawling bullshit and all the tan clothes with the spray paint. That's like, is that Nebraska?
Kansas.
I would say,
It's a lot of
yeah, I mean,
Kansas too.
Yeah, Kansas, Wyoming,
Does look pretty
South
cool.
Dakota.
And I've seen like the hunting public, these vast trains, and all of a sudden like a river bottom, and it's like there's some trees, and that's where the whitetail are.
Kind of how it is. I mean, like,
As if I know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
I don't.
I mean, they're going to hang out where they're not, they're in a draw or a transition or a field edge or
yeah.
wood line, especially out there where if you're hunting egg field areas, they're going to be in a little sliver of trees that you can't see from the road, so stuff like that. But when you get out into like, open prairie stuff where it's like rolling hills, that's where, that I love how those guys, spray paint the light colors on their clothes because that's what works, man, out there.
Yeah.
You don't need camo.
No, you got to look like the area you're hunting.
Yeah.
Avoid shadows. Yeah.
That's cool. Those guys have been just a favorite of mine for several years for that reason.
Absolutely.
They just don't give a shit what anyone thinks. We talked about last week when Jared pissed his pants trying to shoot a buck. It's like, dude, unfucking real.
Yeah. I can't wait to see the next thing he was working. I just heard him, I think.
He shared some shit, and I was like, I can't wait.
Yeah. God, it's awesome.
It is insane, the stuff that they do.
hunting season's going to be here real quick.
It always is. Like I said something about velvet bucks because there's like these neighborhood deer that get pretty
July.
big, and my wife's like, "What'd you just say?" We're like, "Whoa."
Oh, did you strike a chord?
Usually it's after, like,
did you
July.
strike a chord there?
But no, we'll bring it in here.
We're looking at 3 months to opening bow season.
So it's pretty much here.
I'm not an early. As much as I love the concept of early season, I just never am an early season guy. Like I might get out once early season just to scratch the itch and be like, I hunted, it's here. And it almost never goes because I don't have inventory. I have not patterned anything. I'm just hunting on a hope and a prayer. I don't really know what's going on. And then the bugs get me and I'm like over it. And like the heat, I'm like, this is not what I fucking pictured.
Yeah.
I pictured beautiful fall colors and cold weather with an airplane, a bush plane flying overhead, that you hear in the distance.
And that's what most people are waiting for. And that's why the opportunity is so great in the early season. If you have the time.
Yeah.
That's the best time to hop on a kayak and get out somewhere because if you fall in, you're not going to freeze to death.
It'll feel good. No, it'll feel good.
And no matter where you get out, you're probably pretty close to deer because they want water too. If
They're
it's
hanging
90
out,
degrees,
they're hanging out by water
That's
early
pretty
season.
fair.
find a tree from your kayak and just call it a day.
Yeah. No, I'm of course I'm looking forward to it. I'm not a huge Sitka fan per se. Like this is the Okayest on our podcast. I understand who we are, and I should probably buy my shit from Walmart. But they have that Equinox Guard stuff that prevents ticks and mosquitoes. Like the fabric's woven so tight that a mosquito can't get through it.
Really?
And then it's got the permethrin baked in the fabric, which I know a lot of companies do that, but like you're not going to have to worry about ticks. So I have the pant and the hoodie. I hunted with the hoodie last year, early season, before I went on 2 vacations. And I was in about as marshy of an area as you can get. You understand because you helped me hang the trail camera right there. It felt like it seemed like I had a force field around me. The bugs they were just lingering nearby, but they wouldn't get on me. And I had 0 bites. That was a big deal for me. Like at that point, I'll pay anything to
But
to
I
like.
mean, your face though.
No, I had like they had the mask and shit in the hood.
Built into the hood.
It
Same
was,
fabric.
dude.
I was pretty impressed when I looked at it because
Really?
bugs naturally, like whatever blood
When I paid
type
full price.
am,
I went to Whale
bugs
Tails and
fucking
bought it.
want it.
Same
They
here.
want it.
It was special. Like, so I went to an old folks home the other day, and I had to
Please continue.
I gave a talk about hunting to these older gentlemen.
Wow, that's cool.
This was the other day, and I brought up tote of all of the gear, like the Latitude Carbon Series speed sticks that are made out of plastic and carbon. It's like the stuff from aerospace. It doesn't weigh a thing. I brought some of the modern boots that I got from Muck. I brought the Sitka stuff. And I brought a whole bunch of shit, the bow from Bear, all this shit, right? To just show like how it's progressed. And these guys were like, so you're telling me that the mosquitoes won't bite? I'm like, I'm telling you,
They hated
the
you when you
mosquitoes won't bite. I'm like, they can't get through the shit. And they're like, this is insane. They're passing it around like that's, which by the way, I'm telling you, like when I'm old, put me in a fucking retirement community because that was amazing. These guys, it's the middle of the day and they're drinking booze. I asked for water and like someone couldn't find me water because all they had was alcohol. And so they're just in there. I brought venison snacks for these guys from the deer I shot last year. And these guys are just eating venison, drinking booze, and hearing all my hunting stories. It was pretty wild.
That's pretty cool.
Hey, good for you for doing that.
Yeah, it was
That's
fun.
freaking badass.
But I'm like, man, this shit's come a long way because they were like not understanding a lot of it. They're like, so we mean you stick it to the tree? Which part is the part that goes to the tree? The Latitude sticks. It's like the whole stick. The stick. You put it, you tie it to the tree and you can climb. They're like, so you don't need a ladder? There's no more ladders. You can get a ladder, but this is different. What's with the saddle? What do you mean? For horses? No. Like it was.
Dude, did you put a GoPro on your head for this? Because this would have been the footage.
That would have been great.
This would have been the Okayest hunter
It
footage.
was pretty great. It really was great. Honestly, like these guys had some awesome stories they shared, and these guys have done some shit that I've never done. Like this dude's talking about a bear situation in Alaska. The bear died. He's like 6 inches from my fucking boot. This bear died, and he's like, the guide's like, you bring this gun or you're not fucking hunting. And he's like, okay, I'm bringing that gun. He's like, that gun saved my actual life, me and my wife.
Is it charged?
Yeah, charged. And he's like, I didn't have anything ready. So, and the bear he's like, I don't know how I'm alive to tell you this story today.
Crazy.
It was like, wow. It was pretty neat.
Wild.
Anyway, I don't know where that all came from. Early season shenanigans, enthused about it, man. No longbow is it a longbow or recurve that you're shooting?
I'm hunting with a longbow, but I told you earlier, I really haven't had the time to practice. So unless I acquire a bunch of time,
Probably not going to happen.
You bring your bow to the job site.
Just a couple of shots at lunch.
that would work. Honestly,
You could just toss that dice out there and
just keep
let
a
it rip.
little target.
It's my lunch break. I got lots of land here to shoot.
I mean,
Fine.
mostly, I could shoot every day, but
You're not Cam Hanes. It's okay.
you got to try harder.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cool. Well, Foam Fest is still open for registration. That won't close until like the day of. You can come and pay cash. I don't recommend it. I recommend you get in early so you get the free t-shirt and tumblers. But you can go to our website, okayesthunter.com. You can go to events and you'll see Foam Fest under there under the About section. Our giveaway sweepstakes is launching on July 7th. You'll start to see some teasing stuff coming out with that. I feel weird talking about it because I can't let the cat out of the bag, but you're going to want to enter this. The only thing you need to do is share your email address, and you get entered to win like more product than you need.
What day is the shoot this year?
The shoot is on August 9th, so it's earlier in August. It just had to do with what was available for the.
I think it'll be better.
That'll
Hurricane
be better.
Marsh.
I remember last year I wanted to go, and I went.
It was later in the month.
North Dakota
The open already or opening.
It was that weekend of the opener.
It'll be good. They have a new. They got bought out by the landfill company, and so they took that money and they built a new facility not too far from where they were before. So same general area, but a different spot specifically for Hurricane Marsh archers. But new state of the art indoor facility. So if it does rain, I think we'll be fine. If it doesn't rain, I think everything's gonna be amazing. So you go right. It's $50. It's $10 more than it was last year because the free t-shirt and tumblers we're doing. We had to cover the cost to handle that. So if you register before July something, I forget the date, 20 something, you'll get a free t-shirt and tumbler. We do that with BHA Wisconsin chapter. They help 50-50 right down the middle with those guys because they help us with the raffle and the donations and all the conservation stuff.
And if you have not gone on or if you don't follow BHA, get on there soon because there's a whole bunch of public land.
I probably need to do an emergency episode about that.
Addressed, and they've got the whole, and Theodore Roosevelt Conservation also has it, where you can send out bulk email to your United States senators and
we won the last little bout, but
please stop selling public land.
The battle may have been won, but the war is not over,
no.
so to speak. So there's more work to do there for us public land advocates.
I think
that should be its own episode. So yeah, Foam Fest is coming up. Sweepstakes are coming up. Onesies are available on the website for anybody you know having babies. If you're having a baby, these things are made out of bamboo. They're actually pretty incredible. They sold it at the trade show in the Dells in one day. Like they flew up because people could walk by and touch them, and they're like, "Oh my god, I have to have it." So you can't touch it when it's on the website, but just trust me, they're incredible. And we have new merch that'll be dropping soon. We're waiting for everything to arrive at our warehouse. So like once it all arrives, we'll put it up on the website. We have a whole bunch of new stuff coming that like we've never done before. So I'm pretty enthused about it. Hopefully it's received well and you guys appreciate it, but it's been a while since we dropped some new shit. So like it's gonna be a bit of a heyday when it all arrives. I think there's like some pallets showing up of stuff. So
Pallets.
hopefully people like
Pallets.
it. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild. What else do we have? I think that's kind of it for now. I was talking to Tyler earlier about all the shit we have going on that we should be talking about. I think that's the majority of it for the moment. But
Are you guys going to do another out of the state hunt and film it?
It's a great question.
I would like to. It's a matter of what can we do and how we piece it together. We are so, and then the Okayest Hunter. I say show because like there's Okayest Hunter podcast, which is what you're listening to. The show is different. It's our episodic that goes on Carbon TV and YouTube. Our season 4, is it 3 or 4? I don't know. It's one. Whatever. Fuck this year.
Exactly.
It's being produced right now. It'll air when we have it done. We could wait till September because we want to play the algorithm game. I don't care. It's the content like will burn a hole in my pocket. And I just want people to see
Put it out
because
there.
it's
I
fun.
think it's better to just put it out there.
Yeah,
Put it
I'm
out there.
probably on that camp. So once it's done, we'll tease out a little bit so we can get some momentum and then we'll just let it rip. That's on the horizon. And it's not going to be like it was the last 2 or 3 years where it was like 18 episodes of 5-minute shows. It's going to be like 5 episodes of like 28-minute shows.
Yes.
So a little bit more meat on the bone. That being said, to your point, can we lock in another like film? We're no longer doing the show going forth from here. We're not filming a show this year.
We're not filming a show?
So no show filming.
No show.
Because it's really really expensive.
I believe you.
And where the money comes from in this little business that we do on the side, it's not coming from that. So we want to take the money we're spending and put it towards something where we can see it return back. And I think the film is a path. So we might be able to fund more of the films than we can the show.
That makes sense.
Is the idea. And I think we'll have more fun as like a group just doing some really cool shit.
It's a good idea.
So we'll see. It's like, we're still trying to figure out what the hell we want to be when we grow up. So that's
We all
the
are.
thing. Yeah. How do people go find your new stuff?
YouTube, Get Out and Hunt. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
When's the next thing going to drop? Because like I know you're busy working right now, but
I don't know. I still have a turkey hunt that I could put out from this year. Maybe put that out there first, and then I've got a couple of animals we shot out in Hawaii on film. I could put that together, and that'll probably be the next thing. Maybe in a month I'll have it done.
all right.
Badass.
Stand
But
by.
we got to hear a
But
little
then
bit of the story.
Come fall, I always have more content and stuff that I put out. So
Yeah. None of us are the hunting public, so like nothing happens real time. Those guys are a different category in their own
Just
right.
nonstop. It's awesome.
Which makes them very valuable. And like that's what
We
I love
love
to watch
it.
the most.
We love it.
Great.
Yeah. I wish we
great.
could be as cool as those guys.
Every time I log in, and I don't really actually watch that many different shows, but it's like there's 14 new.
I want to see what's
episodes.
happening right now.
I swear, I
like
just
this was
saw
uploaded
the
yesterday. I'm
last
like, well,
one.
I'm watching it.
They're good.
Yeah,
They're
it's
good.
cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'd like to hunt with those guys someday too. We keep asking every year, and they're like, "Yeah, we're in." And then like it just doesn't come together because like timing and like ability to communicate when it comes hunting season. Like we suck, they suck, everyone sucks because we're just too busy trying to hunt. So like, oh, we were in Wisconsin, we missed you. I was like, shit. Oh well.
Yeah.
I just want to hunt with Zach so I can hear him scream when he shoots a deer. Seeing a guy scream like that when he shoots a deer is like pretty funny to me. Because most guys on the camera are like, yes, I got him. I got the buck. And he's like, "Wah!" out loud because it's game over. It's done. Like, you don't need to whisper anymore. You got it. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I guess, yeah. I don't even know what I do half the time. When you're by yourself and you're like, Do you remember? Like, did you scream?
I'm always quiet. No, I'm always quiet.
I am too, actually.
I'm always very quiet.
That's why when I saw him do that, I was like, well, that's new. I haven't seen that before.
Depends on the situation of the hunt, I guess. How thrilling it was. I don't know.
Every hunt for me is like, I'm just freaking out. I'm just like, it's a total freaking mess.
Yeah.
It's like the Luke Bryan hunt. Is he down? Is he down? Is he down?
What a classic.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Your post hunt calls are the best for sure.
I usually call you guys right away because I don't know what the fuck to do. Every time I'm like a kid all over again.
You're mostly calling during the hunt. I just saw a buck. What should I do? Shut the fuck up and put the phone away.
Yeah.
Shoot him.
That's exactly what my dad told me. Just put the fucking walkie-talkie down and shoot the deer, Eric. Oh, okay. Oh, God. It's crazy. All right, guys. Well, have a good evening or day or whenever you listen to this. I don't know. We appreciate you tuning in.
Thanks for having me on, you guys.
Yeah, this is good. In person's always my favorite. This is fun. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have a good night, guys.